China claims to have the most advanced fire extinguishing technologies in the world. But the reality is, China's fire and rescue department is the biggest joke in the world. You can't count on them to put out fires or to save people, but they can certainly entertain people with their hilarious acting skills. So let me show you exactly how incompetent the fire and rescue department is and help you understand why is it like this in communist China. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ali. If you like my content, please help me by liking, sharing, and subscribing. So why is China's fire and rescue department so incompetent? Is it because of a lack of funding? That's certainly not the case. Look at how much high-tech toys they're able to showcase. From robot dog to robot tank, various drones, and robot firemen. And look at this automatic monitoring water cannon. It automatically detects and targets fire. It also works on moving targets. Well, sort of. But none of this can compare with the fire extinguishing missiles that point and shoot at the target. These are repurposed military-grade weapons. Each truck can carry 24 missiles, and the missiles are filled with powder. This is developed specifically for putting out fires in skyscrapers, because the highest a fire engine can reach is 113 meters, but these missiles are not limited by this height. It can shoot accurately, and once it breaks the window, the powder inside will put out the fire, supposedly. So far, everything sounds great. However, this technology came out in 2017 and it's been more than 7 years now, but we haven't seen this in use once. It wasn't used in the infamous 2022 Urumqi apartment fire, nor was it used in any of the high-rise building fires. So what are they waiting for? Or perhaps the technology is only reserved for show. You know, the same research team also developed drones to carry these missiles for wildfires. It sounds great in theory, but again, they were nowhere to be seen during actual mountain fires. During this year's massive Guizhou fire, helicopters with buckets is what we got. The words on screen said, "Mountain fire is an extremely urgent matter. It only takes 5 seconds to fill the bucket. They're racing with the fire god." Sure, if we're counting from the moment the bucket touches the water, maybe it was only 5 seconds. But calling this a race with the fire god? They must be joking. You know what else is a joke? The fire extinguishers in China. In 2012, over 10,000 fire extinguishers in Chengdu were found to be filled with flour. That's right, the flour that's used in cooking. After it's been exposed, the situation, however, didn't get better. Fake fire extinguishers are now being mass-produced. This manufacturer provided 10 different types of extinguishers at different price points, but 6 of them cannot put out fire. Out of these fake fire extinguishers, the ones containing half or less fire extinguishing chemicals are actually the better ones. Because other than not being able to put out fire, they won't make the situation worse. But the ones that's filled with flour, it will literally add fuel to the fire. Because flour is not only highly flammable, but can also explode. It's more explosive than gunpowder. So anyone using these kind of fire extinguishers will end up creating an explosion. It's a very dangerous situation. The seller is actually fully aware of this. She said, "It won't put out fire. This will 100% not be able to put out fire. The more you use it, the bigger the fire." Tell you the truth. Fire extinguishers are not the only fire safety device that's mostly fake in China. Fire-rated safety glass windows are often fake as well. They're supposed to be used on apartment buildings, and they can resist fire for more than an hour and a half, providing crucial time for people to escape. But the manufacturers simply put fire-rated stickers on regular glass, and this is the result when a fire breaks out. Fire hydrants in China also fail miserably. This fireman tried really hard to turn on the hydrant and even used his feet, but no water would come out. A car rammed into the hydrant, but not a single drop of water came out. During this massive fire in Guangxi province in 2022, nothing could be done because no fire hydrants around the building had any water. This building is a little more lucky. They were able to run the fire hose from a mile away to find a working hydrant. Fire hydrants inside apartment buildings have the same problem, and it's worse. During a fire in February this year in Jiangsu province, the residents tried to use the hydrants but found out no water would come out. Another resident in Guizhou province tried to hook up the hose, but realized the connectors don't match. Even the firefighters couldn't do anything. A lot of Chinese netizens, after checking their own apartment buildings, realized the same situation is happening everywhere. They posted their photos online. There's either no water, or no pipe connected, or the entire system is locked and sealed. And sometimes there's nothing inside at all. And even if you do see a hydrant, it could just be a decoration, like this one. Or like this standalone hydrant that can be easily pulled out from the ground and is not connected to anything. And these ones too, they're just painted decoration planted to fool people. As we already know, everything is fake in China. People can't rely on any of these to protect them from the fire. But how about the firefighters? Can they save the day? Well, let's look at them in action. This car is on fire, but it's alright. We have the fire truck here. The fire hoses are connected, but it wasn't connected properly with the truck. They fixed that, turn on the water again, and then it wasn't connected properly at the joint. They fixed that again, and looks like something else failed again. How hard is it to connect the hoses properly, and what kind of training did they go through, I wonder? This time, a truck is on fire, the fire engines are here, but the firefighter seems to be struggling with the hoses. Okay, he got the two connected, and they're adding a third one. I don't know if this is normal to work at this pace. I thought this is supposed to be the speed. This time, a house is on fire. People are telling them to hurry because there's still someone inside. The bystanders are so worried and said, "There's definitely a person on top. Hurry, please." But nothing is being done. And then a firefighter came over and yelling, "Don't record, don't record." He sounded just like a typical CCP policeman. You know, rather than stopping people from filming, why not listen to them and try to find a way to save the person inside? So far, we've seen the Chinese Fire and Rescue Department failing at putting out fires. Unfortunately, they're not good at rescues either. Here we see a fireman accidentally knock the girl down. Judging from the street lamp, it's not too high, but what kind of technique is this to drop on the victim's head? And here we don't know how tall this building is, but again, after some struggling, the firefighters caused her to eventually drop. This firefighter here is trying to grab onto this guy, but ended up falling with him. Now let's figure out, why is China's fire rescue department so incompetent? What's the point of this department if it doesn't do fire and rescue? Well, the reality is, they do have another, more important purpose. We can find the answer in the CCTV's special program. It's a documentary on a local fire and rescue station in the city of Yan'an. If you're not familiar with Yan'an, this city is known as the birthplace and the headquarters of the CCP. In Chinese, the city is called 革命圣地, or the CCP's Revolutionary Holy Land. The narration said, in 2021, Sun Shuaizhen came to the fire station to be the captain. He was pumped up and ready to go. But after hearing what the old team leader said during the first station meeting, he was at a loss. The team leader said, "We at this fire station, our most important job is actually all about the 158 Red Revolutionary Historical Sites. We need to protect the Red Revolutionary Historical Sites as if we're protecting our own eyes." So this is the only thing that truly matters in this local fire station. What about the rest of the country? Let's take a look at the newest recruitment notice for the Fire and Rescue Department. The first requirement is you have to have Chinese citizenship. Okay. The second requirement, you have to fully support the CCP's leadership and socialism. The notice also wrote, members of the CCP, merit students, and exceptional members of the Communist Youth League will be considered first. And on the very top right of the site, there's a slogan made up of 4 phrases. The very first phrase is 对党忠诚, which means loyalty to the party. And if you don't know, there's only one party in China. The slogan can be seen in all fire stations in China. They're hanging offices, they're on the front face of the building, they're on top of the building, they're even on training sites. It's constantly reminding all firefighters who is the real boss, who should they be loyal to, and who should they really be protecting? Not the people, but the CCP. So how do you demonstrate your loyalty to the CCP? One way is by singing the Chinese national anthem in other countries. Last year, Turkey suffered a 7.8 magnitude earthquake. China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan all sent out rescue teams. While the Taiwanese team was busy finding survivors, the Hong Kong team waited more than 10 hours for the Chinese team doing nothing, just so the two teams can be together to stage a flag-raising ceremony to put on a show.
我们要与时间赛跑，灾区人民对我们充满期盼，为国争光，向国旗敬礼。好，现在我们召集体会。
And while in Turkey, the Chinese rescue team also planted Chinese flags all over the place. Was the team there to help Turkey or to conquer Turkey? It's hard to tell. The Chinese Fire and Rescue Department have always been experts at staging videos. Look at the dramatic shaky hands and the monkey legs but super clean upper bodies. A firefighter brushing his teeth using charcoal because he couldn't get home last night. And saving foreigners from flood that goes all the way up to their meat calf. And most importantly, the rigorous training they have to go through, such as lining up cups and folding the comforters into squares. I guess that explains why they're so incompetent in the fire and rescue missions. Other than loyalty to the party, there's another variation of the slogan. It says, 听党指挥能打胜仗, which means follow the party's command will bring victory. That's why we will often see firefighters joining forces with the police in forced eviction and demolitions of private properties. And under the zero COVID policy, they were also the ones to force open people's doors, to relocate people, or to kill their pets. Of course, I'm not saying that all Chinese firefighters are incompetent or they're willingly working against the people, but it's true that all Chinese firefighters have to follow orders from the Fire and Rescue Department, which exists not to protect the people, but to protect the party.
对党忠诚，对党忠诚。
And the firefighters have to pledge loyalty to the party and follow the party's command, just like soldiers. It's also pretty sad that the average take-home salary of a Chinese firefighter is merely 4,000 RMB, which is equal to $550 per month. while they have one of the toughest and often life-threatening jobs. Being a firefighter is supposed to be one of the most respected occupations in society. But under the communist regime, nothing is normal. Even firefighters are reduced to actors and puppets of the CCP. If you want to learn more about how the CCP has affected China and Chinese people, please check out my other videos. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.